Crap, I dropped the pick. That's okay. Even though you dropped Demon, I'm here. Alright. Well, excuse me if I break my own heart. It was mine from the finish. It was mine from the start. This situation don't seem all too goddamn smart. This situation's tearing me apart. So excuse me if I break my own heart tonight. Excuse me if I break my own heart tonight. After all, it's mine. After all, it's mine. After all, it's mine. Can I have it back sometime? So excuse me if I break my own heart tonight. Some things are made too strong. Gotta learn how to fight. Situation keeps me popping pills every goddamn night. Situation don't seem right. Excuse me if I break my own heart tonight. Excuse me if I break my own heart tonight. After all, it's mine. After all, it's mine. After all, it's mine. Can I have it back sometime? So if the rain falls down on your Carolina town, guys drifting mine, you're on the road, but your diary reads blank. Is this some kind of joke to you? Some kind of joke to you? Well, excuse me if I break my own heart tonight. Excuse me if I break my own heart tonight. After all, it's mine. After all, it's mine. After all, it's mine. Can I have it back sometime? Well, good morning, rock and rollers. So I didn't go see Pop because, of Borg interference. But here's the thing, it's like this, okay? He's nuts, all right? One time, I don't know, this is in the 80s. So he's driving around, it's time he's living in Augusta, Georgia. He's driving around Augusta, Georgia in this big-ass station wagon, this big-ass white station wagon. And he's hammered, right? Driving around Augusta. And he gets pulled over for a DWI. So he goes, or DUI, whatever it was, in Augusta, Georgia, back in the early 80s. But he knows, because he reads the newspaper every day, he knows if you get pulled over for a DUI, that you have the right to ask to be tested at the hospital, okay? For your alcohol. All right, consumption. In other words, how much alcohol you have in your system. So he goes. He does this and he's stalling for time. So he goes to the hospital. They finally get him over to the hospital, and he's got his wallet. And he's like, oh, excuse me. He's like, oh God, I've got to go to the toilet. So he goes to the toilet. He goes into the stall, right? And he like spills out on the floor like his on purpose, his Purple Heart designation that he like keeps in his wallet in the car right there. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did that fall? Sometimes when I think about how I bombed the shit out of Hitler, it gives me an upset stomach." Oh, look at that. It fell on the floor, Like, obviously trying to show the guy that he's got a Purple Heart. Tell him that he bombed the shit out of Hitler. And so then he's like, which he did, but, And so then he's like, he's back, he's in the toilet. And he's just like, making all kinds of noises just standing there. So he's telling me about this. He's like, and what I did was I ate the whole roll of toilet paper to sop up the alcohol. So he's standing there the whole time, and he was tearing off chunks of the toilet paper and dipping it in the toilet bowl of water and eating it. And he ate a whole roll of toilet. He ate a whole roll of toilet paper because he thought it would sop up the alcohol. He goes, and I had to pay an attorney $1,200 too. I go, well, Dad, how did it ever get disposed of? And he goes, oh, hell if I know. I left the state of Georgia after that and moved to North Carolina. Anyway, rock on, rock and rollers!